Hey guys, this is Mallory Dunphy here with Josh and Eric and Logan. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great.
I'm great. How are you,
Good.
Logan?
Sure, he released a little bit of vomit and poop.
Yep, that's how it goes.
That's baby life for you.
That it is.
But he looks good. He's so cute. Um, we are, if you're watching this for the first time, we're actually getting together because we're part of the Live the Movie crew. And we're all members of this Platinum Live the Movie crew membership. And it's really cool because we have these hangouts once a week. We're actually part of a book club that we're all reading the same book, which is the main focus of tonight's call. But the book this month is Josh's pick. It's an awesome one. It's The Leader Who Had No Title by Robin Sharma. What's my favorite thing about the book so far is that it's almost like a story. It is a story. It's set up like a story. But as you go through the story, you learn different things about personal development from different characters that come up in the book, and it's just it's a quick read. It's something that connects with you in a different way. You know, every character you meet, you can kind of connect to and relate to and learn from, which is kind of cool. So I really am enjoying it. And besides these weekly calls, we get together in person every quarter, so about every 3 months or so. We call them masterminds because when you put more than one or more than two people together and you're able to bounce ideas back and forth and discuss new goals that you want to go for, you just get more done and you get closer to those goals that you want to hit together. So goals, which is also pretty cool. So we're all shooting for different things in different areas of our life. I know Eric and I are shooting for some financial goals, and Josh is shooting for his dream job, which is really exciting. So, you know, we're just kind of accountability buddies, holding each other accountable for different, taking different action steps in our lives. And these weekly calls are great because they force us to think about new ways to kind of achieve our goals throughout the week that we probably wouldn't normally think of doing. And then the in-person masterminds that we get together and do, where we share ideas, it's over a course of 2.5, 3 days. And it's so much fun. We usually do something fun along the way. This year we're actually I'm hosting it at my house this year in Rhode Island. So we're going to do something fun out in Providence, most likely. But that's coming up on October, I think it's the 7th. I think that date is right. But it's basically Columbus Day weekend. So it is October 7th through 9. So we're excited about that, and it still leaves Monday. And I know I have the day off Monday, but it still leaves Monday for us to kind of travel back home or do something fun with family or whatever we have planned. So those masterminds are, like I said, every quarter of the year, and then we also do some cool things besides the hangouts and the masterminds in the Platinum membership group. So if you do want to learn more about that after we go through today's call and learn more, dive into the chapters that we all read this week, definitely reach out to the leader who sent you here. So that's the overview of the Live the Movie crew. This week we went over chapters 5 and 6 in The Leader Who Had No Title. These two chapters, so basically to give you an overview of what where we've come to this point, the main character, Blake, has gone through some pretty traumatic experiences in his life, and he found himself in a point where he didn't feel like he was going anywhere. He was really discouraged. He actually was in the military for a few years, and when he got back home, the post-traumatic stress kind of hit him pretty hard, and his parents had passed away, and he was having trouble with his girlfriend, and his job wasn't thrilling him, and he was just kind of discouraged all around. And then one day he met this mentor named Tommy, and Tommy has introduced him to a whole new philosophy, a whole new way of thinking. And the beauty about the whole concept of that, meeting a mentor who changes your philosophy, changing your mindset is sometimes the biggest key to moving in a different direction in your life, in a more positive direction in your life. Because I don't know who said this quote. I think we even said it last week, but when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So it's funny because when you have like this moment where you're like, I'm going to make a positive change in my life, and you decide in your own mind, your surroundings don't really change right away. You see the same people at work. You wake up to the same house that you you fell asleep to the night before. Things don't magically appear in your life the very next day after you have a big mental change. But once you make that mental shift, you start doing things and taking different action steps that maybe you didn't do before that will bring you closer to a different lifestyle or the lifestyle that you dream about. So this book kind of captures that, and that the philosophy that this mentor introduces to the main character, and he introduces him to 4 teachers who teach basically the philosophy of the lead without a title, which is the name of the book. So it's pretty cool. So in chapters 5 and 6, he meets 2 more of the mentors and teachers that his mentor introduces him to. So the cool part about this one character, his name is Ty. He owns this ski shop, and he used to be a pro skier, and he got hurt one year really badly, and he wasn't able to continue with his profession. So he decided to open a ski shop in New York City, of all places. And it's pretty cool how he used the obstacle of getting hurt and not being able to do his passion professionally anymore, to being able to provide other people who have a similar passion the ability to do that. So it's really cool. He's quite the character in the book. I'm not going to describe him because you're going to actually have to read the book to be able to learn what he's all about. But that's the basic overview of who he is. And what he introduces, I have a couple highlights quoted by this character. His name is Ty. This one's one of my favorites. What you resist will persist, but what you befriend will begin to transcend. So we focus too much on the negative, more of that negative thing starts to come into our life. And that's because what we focus on expands. So here with what you resist will persist is, what you try to prevent from happening. Like, for example, if you say to yourself over and over, I don't want to, or something like that, chances are, fighting the resistance of going broke, you're going to end up at some point, running out of money and saying, where did this come from? Well, the universe doesn't care about if you're thinking of, I do or don't want to do something. All the universe hears is broke, and that's what kind of comes into your life. So what you focus on expands, which I think was one of the great philosophies that he teaches. And then forward to his 5 rules that he lives by, that he teaches the main character Blake, and he has an acronym for these 5 rules. And I love all these acronyms in this book. It's so cool because they're so memorable, and it's easy to recall of learning, the 5 rules that you have to live by. Having an acronym that you can associate with that is so helpful, when you're learning something new, because you remember things easier that way. So he goes over the 5 rules. His acronym is SPARK, which is pretty cool. And the S, and I'm going to give them all away now, but I really encourage you to read the book yourself, because me going over them and you reading the book are 2 totally different things. So I'm going to go over the highlights. I'm going to have Josh jump in, potentially Eric jump in if he's not too busy with Logan, but I know that he had a lot going on tonight. Father life, I guess, dad life. But the book also gives you an action step at the end of each chapter. So this is just a sneak peek of the action step. And I'm not going to tell you what that action step is, because like I said, I really want you to get the book for yourself and read it on your own. So the S in SPARK stands for speak with candor. And candor, I guess, is how you'd pronounce it. But the speak with candor, it kind of relates back to what the previous teacher in the last chapter reviewed, which is integrity. And it's basically being honest with people and being open with them about your opinion in a respectful way. So it doesn't mean being rude, bluntly honest. Sometimes you can be blunt, but showing respect for others that you're talking to. And the book kind of relates the speaking with candor to the main character, Blake, talking with people at his office, his coworkers. So if he's going to be honest with them, he doesn't want to offend anybody, but he does want to share and express, what he's feeling and be open and honest with them so that he can build a better relationship with them in general. And it same goes with customers too that he works with, because the main character, I haven't said this, but he works in a bookstore. So he definitely could, he spends most of his days, or before he learned all these new techniques and this new philosophy, he spent most of his days kind of sitting in his desk by himself and not really interacting. But as he's progressed, and he's already grown so much in just a few, short chapters, which I think is a course of like a day and a half. But this speak with candor, you can help anybody, because, your integrity is everything. Once you kind of shy away from the integrity, your reputation is hurt. And Josh shared this story last week of a man who, completely ruined his career, and he hasn't been able to bounce back because of the impact of his words. And, our words are so powerful, and sometimes, it's so important to listen and be a good listener in any conversation that you're having. But also choose your words wisely and be honest and open and have integrity, but also keep in mind to be respectful of those who are involved in the situation and the conversation. The P in Spark stands for prioritize. He gives a statistic: 80% of your results come from 20% of your activities. So you really want to focus on like the few vital activities in your business, whatever your business, whatever you're in business doing. But you really want to focus on those activities that are going to make the most impact every day. Some of the small, sometimes we can stay really busy, but busy work isn't the same as being productive. And sometimes we can, continue to do things throughout the day and think we got a lot done. But in reality, if it doesn't affect the bottom line of the business, then it wasn't a vital activity. So prioritizing your activities and, really focusing on what's most important in your business is a huge concept that can help you immensely. If you just get rid of some of the busy work that you do throughout your day and do something productive instead, it can make a huge difference in your overall bottom line. The A in Spark stands for adversity breeds opportunity. I was thinking of, the book talks a little bit about this, but one of my mentors that I used to work with told me, it's always stuck with me, that humans are like plastic. We're not like elastic. So humans are like plastic, not elastic. And what that means is when we grow beyond and stretch beyond our comfort zone, we aren't going to bounce back like elastic and go back to our original state, because it's almost impossible to do that. Once you do something, after it's the first time you've done it, you can basically do it again easier and easier and easier. And as we grow and grow and grow and expand, we're just going to continue to stretch. And if you melt plastic and stretch it, it continues to grow bigger and bigger because it doesn't bounce back like elastic. So this is adversity breeds opportunity is what this is relating to, because when you're put in an adverse situation and you have to do something that you're not used to doing, or it puts you in an uncomfortable situation, and discomfort doesn't always mean that it's a bad thing. It means you're growing. So if you ever do something and you feel uncomfortable doing it, keep doing it until it's comfortable, because it probably means you're growing and you're going to move forward in a really positive direction really, really soon. But any type of adversity that you're faced with is definitely a growth opportunity. And if you can just step back when you're in that moment of adversity and think, okay, how am I going to grow from this? How am I going to move forward? Because the most important thing is to move forward and keep continuing to pursue your goals and pursue your passion, because that's the only way that you're going to grow. You're going to learn, and you're going to, I thought I heard somebody say something in the background. You're going to grow and you're going to learn and move in the direction that you want to go. And this is a cool quote that I just turned to. I don't think that we're at this section yet, but change is always messiest in the middle. One of the analogies that Ty gives is he used to teach people ski lessons, and I think he still does. But when he's teaching a professional and they're really good, but they want to take their ski game to the next level, he puts them in a situation that is way outside of their comfort zone. And he teaches them some new technique. But what happens is the professional skier who is really great at skiing ends up kind of taking a few steps back in their, in regards to their skill level, it seems, at first. So if someone struggles, when they didn't used to struggle at skiing before, and they go back and they learn something new and it causes them to struggle and seem like they're reverting back to being a worse skier, what's happening is, because they're learning something new and a new skill to make them better, it's going to cause them to fumble a little bit and struggle and, have to, they're faced with that adversity, and they're going to have to build that new skill upon what they already know. And he, Ty says, after that messiness kind of breaks through and they get good at that new technique and they build upon what they already know, they're an even better skier in the outcome. But some of them, give up along the way because they think it's too hard, because they're, they don't seem like they're making progress in the right direction. But what happens is, when you learn something new and you try something new, yeah, you're going to be bad at it for a little while until you get good at it. And once you get good at it, you really start to see, huge results. And that's the most exciting part. So the R in Spark, and I'm moving through these pretty quickly, and I know Josh jumped off, and Eric, he might be busy with Logan right now. But Eric, anytime you want to jump in and make a comment, just go ahead and pop on. But I'm going to keep moving. The R in Spark stands for respond versus react. And my husband loves this quote, and he's corrected me on it a couple of times, but life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond. And I used to say it's 90% how you react, but that's kind of incorrect, because if you're in a reactive mode, then you basically are focused on expecting problems to arise that you have to put out, basically, putting out fires throughout the day that occur in business or just in relationships or anything, instead of taking your time and actually thinking about the correct response and being the solution to things, instead of, trying to solve or trying to put out fires as they arise. So responding versus reacting is the R in Spark. And then the fifth and final rule, which is the last one in this chapter here, the K in Spark stands for kudos for everyone. And if you think about it, most people really like to have positive attention brought to them. So if you can just spend 2 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day and really thank the people who are doing great work in your business, a simple thank you can go so far. And even with a friend, writing them a note and saying, hey, thanks for being there for me during this, it can just, say, a huge amount that they appreciate so much. And when they feel good, they're going to want to make you feel good too. And they'll continue to do those things that you thank them for. So, kudos for everyone is a great thing to live by, and a great thing to, apply to not just your home life, but to your work and to, it could even be at the gym, giving thanks to the trainers who put in so much work, or the teachers of the class. I know I had a couple instructors at spin class that were just phenomenal, and going at the end of class and saying, thank you for that workout, that was amazing. It meant the world to them, and they continue to push themselves and to grow and to push us as members of the class. And just giving that kudos to people who deserve it can just go so far with somebody in regards to the effort that they're going to put in, and the contribution that they're going to have on your life too, which is really cool. So that's the K in Spark. Oh, this is a cool quote that I highlighted. Always remember that initiative and hard work is the warm-up act for a headliner that's called success. So, you're going to have to put the hard work in the beginning. And like I said, it's going to be messy at first. You're going to go through some growth pains, some growing pains as you're moving into a new area of your life where, if you're going to take your life to the next level, it's going to be hard work. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. But if you have that patience, and if you have a group of people like the Live the Movie crew that we have to help you get through those difficult times, it makes all the difference in the world. So if you're thinking of joining our crew, like I said, reach out, ask questions to the person who brought you here, because we're going to only, make a positive impact in your life, or we're going to do the best we can to add value to you and make a positive impact in your life as best we can. So that's the chapter 5 here. Chapter 6, we get to meet, what's his name? This really cool gardener. And he didn't used to be a gardener. He was the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company overseas, but has since moved back to America. Jackson. His name's Jackson. I couldn't find it. I couldn't remember it. But he's this really kind of reserved guy, but he's brilliant. And he talks about his specialty, basically, or expertise, I guess you could say, is in relationship building. And I love that, because people don't do business with companies. People do business with people. And an age now of technology where we can literally have these calls and it's as if we're in the same room as each other. Even though we can do this, it's still so important to have the real life human contact with people. And sometimes we forget that. We shoot a quick text instead of giving somebody a call, or send them an email instead of picking up the phone. So it's so important to just remember that we're all human. We like human interaction. We're built to like that, and to want to connect with people. And if we keep that in mind as we go through life and all the different areas of our life, it's just going to make a positive impact if we really focus on building the right kinds of relationships. So his whole philosophy is, the deeper your relationships, the stronger your leadership. So when you have a really good relationship with somebody, you're able to lead them in a way that you wouldn't be able to if you didn't know them as well, and you didn't know what motivates them. And one of my favorite questions that I used to ask when I was a manager at a sales company for Cutco was, what makes you tick? What would motivate you? What's something that I could do to help motivate you to hit your goals? And to ask somebody that question openly and receive an honest answer, it's only going to help that relationship grow stronger. And for me as the manager, I was able to, build that relationship where I could push them to the next level because of what they told me, not because of what I assumed about them. So, but it all started with that relationship. And this, this quote here, money follows contribution. If you have a financial goal, for example, which is what myself and Eric have, the amount of money that we bring into our life is going to be in direct correlation to the amount of contribution that we give to other people. So whether that's time at work, or a conversation with somebody, if we're I know Eric is a leadership and life coach, and he helps people hit their goals in new ways, and he works one-on-one with people, and him giving that time and contributing that time to somebody on a personal level is going to directly relate to how much money that is going to come into his life. So the acronym that Jackson uses in the book is, and I won't tell you, as I said, he's a gardener already, but I won't give you too many details about his garden because it's just a really cool description in the book, but you just have to get the book to read on your own. But he uses the acronym HUMAN, which kind of makes sense because he talks a lot about relationships and how the deeper your relationships, the stronger your leadership. So with his acronym being HUMAN, the H in human stands for helpfulness. How helpful are you throughout the day with your coworkers, and are you helping them because you have to, or are you going the extra mile and reaching out and saying, hey, what can I help you with today, and just being that extra resource for somebody when they need it, because that'll set you apart from somebody who just does what they have to do just because they have to do it. And setting yourself apart like that can make a huge impact on your income and a huge impact on your life. So helpfulness is that H, what that H stands for. And I'm just flipping through because I remember I had highlighted something when he was talking about helpfulness that I really liked, and I wanted to see if I could find it. If I can't, that's okay. We'll just move on to the U. Here it is. So give away that which you wish to receive. So, if you want to receive something, you got to give it first to be able to receive it back. And this can relate to so many things. If you want to receive love, give love. If you want to receive, money, I guess you could give money to receive money, but if you give your time, you'll receive money. So give away that which you wish to receive. And giving basically starts the receiving process. So give to get. I'm sure you've heard that before. Always do more than you're paid to do, because then you will get paid more. And let's just move on to the U, because I can't find the other quote that I liked. But the U in human stands for understanding. And this is where he really talks about deep listening and speaking less and listening more to somebody that you're having a conversation with. And we're given 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. I mean, as far as physically, it makes sense. But I mean, if you're thinking about it from how often you should talk and how often you should listen, if you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, you should probably listen more than you talk. And too often, I even catch myself doing this. If I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'm listening to what they're saying for a lot of the time. But some of the time, I catch myself thinking of what I'm going to say next, or what story I can tell that relates to what they're telling, instead of just really listening and asking questions and getting to know them better on a personal level, which goes back to the relationship building. So it's really important just to focus on truly listening and set your ego aside. And if you want to tell a story, we used to discourage people from one-upping somebody else. When somebody's telling a really cool story about something and somebody else comes in and one-ups them with a better story about something similar, it just doesn't make sense to do that. That doesn't really, help the other person. It kind of makes them feel, worse about telling their story because it wasn't as good as yours. So, set your ego aside and really truly listen to somebody when they're talking, because you can learn so much when somebody opens up and they feel so much more comfortable with you when you're actually looking at them and asking them questions about what they're talking about, and instead of having almost a hidden agenda when you're trying to think of different things to say on, related to yourself, instead of just listening to what they have to say. The M in human stands for mingle. And he says, always remember that people love doing business with people they like. This is something Eric says all the time. And he even brings it further to say, people love doing business with people they know, like, and trust. So that all goes back to, the integrity and the speaking with candor, and, building a reputation on that trust that you build with people, on the relationship you build with people, because that's just going to, take your life to the next level and your business to the next level, especially if you have a business dealing with people, and most of us do in this day and age. So, and he says, be awesomely nice, which I thought was kind of cool. This is what this character, Jackson, says, be awesomely nice. And yeah, I mean, sometimes it seems like, I'm just being nice to be nice, but really find it in your heart to be awesomely nice to somebody, just out of the goodness of your heart. Because you never know what somebody's going through. You could meet someone. Eric tells the story of somebody who came in for an interview at his office and, had a reaction to something that he said in the interview that he just it was out of the blue. And then later he found out that she was going through a difficult time in her life because I think she had just lost her husband, and he was the primary source of income. And, it wasn't, however she reacted wasn't directed towards what he was all about, because she was a great person and he's a great person. It was just because of the situation she was in. So you just never know what somebody's going through. So, be nice to people, because, something mean that you could say or react to something that they're saying in a negative way could just put them over the edge. And why not be the positive part of their life, and somebody that, is nice to them and makes their day, instead of somebody who, makes their day worse than what they're already could be having. Eric, oh, you're gone now again. But do you want to jump in? I know I've shared quite a bit pretty quickly.
Were you asking me if I want to jump in?
Yeah, you popped on, then you put your picture back up. So I didn't know if you were there and wanted to jump in. I've gone through a lot really quickly, and I didn't know if you wanted to share or add anything.
Yeah, I've been in and out. I was just going to check Logan's in the pack and play, and he's got a big blanket around him, so I just wanted to see if he moved. But one of the things I did catch you saying was talking about candor, and people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So, we talk about in our group how, all of us at this point are kind of doing this opportunity to help fund and pursue other opportunities. And so each of us has other things that we do. So for me, I work in financial planning during the day. And one of the interesting things about that is that because of some of the things that have happened in recent years, and just in general with the type of industry it is, when it comes to like marketing your business to try to acquire new clients, you actually can't even use the traditional forms of advertising, meaning like if Mallory was a client of mine, I couldn't tell anyone that Mallory's a client of mine, and I couldn't tell her to tell other people. I couldn't give other people her phone number to tell her how awesome we are. Now she on her own, this is the crazy part, she on her own could tell other people about our business, but we can't solicit telling her that she has to tell other people about our business. We can't get a recommendation. We can't get any of that stuff. So what's interesting about that is it seems like such a disadvantage. But one of the things I was thinking about is I said, well, what's great about this? Because we always talk about, with our group here, we always talk about the 5 problem-solving questions. And the first one's, what's great about this? And I thought about it and I said, well, your primary source of getting recommendations is going to be from your own client base, because they're the only ones who can actually do anything. So if you treat them well, and you really over-deliver for them indirectly over time, they're going to refer people to you because they got such a good experience. And then as far as attracting new people, you're forced to build a true relationship with them, because you can't use third-party social proof, which you can use in most other businesses and industry. You really have to build the relationship, which really is what most value in things is based on anyway. Because when you say, well, so if I'm managing someone's money and we charge them whatever, it's like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. Well, the people that we over deliver for and have trust and relationship, and they ask how your family's doing, you ask how their family's doing, and they trust you're going to do a good job, they don't really care how much it costs. But if someone's brand new and you're like, yeah, just let me manage your money, and this is how much it costs. Like, wait, hold on a second. Like, you're managing my life basically, because my nest egg of money, and I don't even know you. So it's just an interesting concept where you literally at this point couldn't even succeed at that industry without following those rules, where in other ones you can kind of manipulate or get fake reviews, or you could kind of do certain things. So it seems like a disadvantage, but it actually creates a better atmosphere because you're forced to do things the right way. So that's the only thing I thought of off the top of my head from coming in and out and what I was thinking of. But I really like the characters and the personality that they have behind teaching these principles, because again, it gives you you learn the principles, but you also have like a symbol or like an avatar to actually go along with the principles, so you can actually picture that person and what they're like and the challenge they have, so that you can then relate to it and see how you can overcome your own challenges. So I would say I don't know a lot of teachers that teach Fable personal development books, but Robin Sharma is definitely my favorite when it comes to those. He's very good at writing these type of books.
Yes, relatable is definitely something that, is how his rating just portrays basically. And what you were talking about how if you're treating your current customers, your financial planning customers with, you're basically blowing them out of the water with how good you are to them and doing business with them, they're going to share that with people, and they're going to want their friends and family to experience that same type of relationship too. So it's kind of cool when you think at first, so it's a disadvantage that we can't really get recommendations and we can't reach out, and solicit. But you're going to get better customers in the long run because you're going to work with people who love working with you too. So it's kind of cool that that whole concept of asking, what's great about this when you think that it's a situation that could be potentially negative. I think we went over the M, mingle. We were just talking all about, people love doing business with people they like. The A in human, which is moving on to the final two letters of the acronym human. The A stands for amuse, and I love this because I take myself too seriously all the time, and I have to stop and be like, okay, this is crazy. I'm putting too much pressure on myself. I'm taking this way too seriously. I got to step back and have a little fun with this. And it's funny because when you have more fun, you get more done sometimes. And when you lighten up and take the pressure off, it's just so you're just more productive, and you want to do the work instead of treating it like a job. You treat it like your passion, and it's so good to to keep that in mind as you're going through life. And then finally, the N in human stands for nurture, and nurture those relationships that you build and be in contact with people that you have. And I know I have a ton of friends that one of my really good friends moved down to Florida a while ago, and we used to see each other all the time. And it's actually Eric and my mutual friends, and not being able to just kind of go over to her house has been a challenge, but being able to pick up a phone every now and then, or send a text message and say, hey, how you doing? Give me a call when you can. It makes all the difference in the world when you spend time and actually nurture the relationships that you've made and that you've built a great foundation for. And it can go a long way in business too when you build those really solid foundational relationships or coworkers that you work with. Because there's this one quote that I wanted to read. We have this innate human tendency to want to be good to people who have been good to us. So it's returning the favor in a way. If you're awesomely nice to somebody, they're going to be awesomely nice back to you, and they're going to want to, go above and beyond for you when you've already gone above and beyond for them. So that kind of concludes the chapters that we went through this week. And just in conclusion, I would say, first of all, get this book and read it because it's pretty phenomenal. I'm really excited. The next two chapters are going to finish up the book for us, and we're going to go over those next week. But well, I think it all goes back to your mentality when you go into something new. And one of the activities that Josh had us do, last week, I think it actually might have been the week before, he talked about how can we bring our best to our position now, even though we might not be in the position that we want to be in firm or our dream lifestyle. Having those characteristics and really emulating those characteristics that we see ourselves emulating when we do have that dream position or that dream lifestyle, that's going to make all the difference. It's going to get you there faster because and my 5 characteristics were creativity, passion, energy, organization, and being driven. It was funny because immediately after he reviewed that with us, it was on a Monday night, that very next day I saw a difference in my work because I was just focused on that. So if you think about wanting to make a change in your life and moving in a more positive direction and you have a goal for yourself, what's holding you back? Is it a mentality? Is it you thinking that you can't do it? Or is it simply the fact that you don't know how to get started? And we might be able to help with that. So feel free to join our crew, our Live the Movie crew. The whole concept behind Live the Movie is when you're watching a movie and you see the highlights of the character's life and they go through a big challenge and they overcome the challenge and they end up, victorious in the end. Our life can be that way. What kind of movie do you want to live? What kind of legacy do you want to leave for yourself? What genre do you want your movie to be? I said my genre, I would love to have a romantic comedy as my genre because I like to have fun, or maybe an adventure comedy because I like to have fun. I like to laugh. I like to love, and, living the movie is on a deeper level. It's more about, following your dreams every day and living in the moment and, telling yourself that you're destined for great things, and having a crew like this to do life with and to experience different things and bounce ideas off of. It just makes all the difference in the world. So that's all I have. I don't know if Eric, you're even still on, but I'm going to say au revoir. Thanks for joining us. And like I said, if you are interested in the platinum membership of the Live the Movie crew, ask whoever brought you here, ask some questions, and join us. We'd love to have you. We'll see you guys next week.